me. You caught me. It's not like I haven't already said it like a million fucking times in like 70,000 of my videos.
And he just laughs it off. Greg, I'm not literally saying, wow, this is the first time I've ever detected Armoured Skeptic is not an anti-theist. I've known for a while you're not very tough on religion. What I'm saying is the statements you made in that moment of the video perfectly showcase what a non-anti-theist you are, which is a bad thing for aforementioned reasons. I don't understand how any atheist can look at the world around them, look at religion's effects on all societies to varying degrees and be like, you know what? I'm cool with this. Let's respectfully disagree. I think the time for that is long past. I think the time has come for us to get real on this, stop sugarcoating it, and call religion out for what it is, which is dog shit.
I'm not one of those atheists who think all religion is bad and that the church needs to be dismantled.
I can't even let him talk that long because it's just some new bit of bullshit every few seconds. Dismantle? What is he even talking about? Atheists want to dismantle the church.
Yeah, I was being hyperbolic. I was saying I'm not one of those extreme militant atheists who's out to end religion.
We'll get into what I was talking about dismantling in a minute, but that alone is worthy of condemnation. You're an atheist who doesn't want to end religion? So you're an atheist who is perfectly okay with millions of people in America, never mind the rest of the world, believing in something that is wrong, something that daily influences their lives in a negative manner, something that influences their voting decisions. Every corner of our society is influenced by this thing that is not true. You could almost make a whole video out of that. How? How can you say something like that? And that's what makes someone a militant atheist? A buzzword that I have only ever heard used by Christian apologists, by the way. It would only make someone a militant atheist if they wanted to end religion in a violent manner, which is something that I have never even implied, nor have any of the other people who you're going to go on in this video to smear as militant atheists. Here's a definition of dismantle. Take a machine or structure to pieces. Basically, it just means to tear apart. Which atheist, pray tell, pun intended, wants to see the church dismantled?
Are you trying to say that there are no militant anti-theist atheists who want religion to end? Because I can think of one prevalent atheist within the atheist community who most definitely has spoken in such words.
I choose to bring up the definition because it's a very specific verb choice on your part. You're also talking about the church, which is an organization. It's a building where believers meet to worship God. I'm making sure to cover all bases so you can't pull out the rug under anyone. And mostly what I had in mind was what the Soviet Union did to religion, which is something that I am completely against. I want to see religion end in a peaceful way. And now you bring up atheism is unstoppable. Devin Tracy would like to see religion end, which, by the way, is a good thing. But apparently that's a position that deserves the militant smear. I've never understood this from Christian apologists, and I especially don't understand it coming from Greg, who's an atheist. What exactly is militant about wanting religion to end?
And I doubly dog dare you to go to his face and tell him you're right about religion being bad, but I don't want to abolish the church, and then stick to that position.
I wonder if Greg knew that I was cool with Devin, and that's why he worded it in that way. Okay, 2 points. I wouldn't say that to Devin, because I don't agree with that. I would like to see religion end. And 2, I really don't like the phrasing of abolish the church, because that sounds a lot like ban the church, which is something I'm not in favor of. I notice the obvious trap there and would not phrase it in that way. I would rather just say, I want to see religion end, and hopefully I can play a part in that. If he meant this literally, it's even more retarded, like, tear the church apart brick by brick.
Are you fucking stupid? Why would you even say this? This is why I'm not sure if he's a Poe.
Once again, just covering all my bases here. And if you're talking about what you classify as militant atheism, part of me wonders if you mean exactly what I'm talking about, banning the church. Also, that was partially a joke. You might have been able to tell by the silly voice I put on. That might be a giveaway that I wasn't being entirely serious in that moment. Or perhaps in a more figurative sense. An atheist who wants to see the church destroyed? And he words this as if it's some kind of common occurrence.
No, I didn't, actually. It's not like it's something that doesn't exist at all.
And this is a pretty understandable misunderstanding on both of our parts. So in the video, I thought you were implying a more hostile, militant kind of atheism. It's hard to get numbers on something like that, but I'm speculating that that is a minority opinion within any atheist community. You do word it as if it's a common occurrence, and you bring it up to condemn this obvious position that most people do not hold. This is also partially why I accuse you of virtue signaling. We're still in this portion of the video where you are talking to religious people, like Black Pigeon Speaks, saying, I am not one of these types of militant atheists, which is complete virtue signaling, and you have done nothing to refute.
Again, remember, I'm not talking to you, Skeleton Skeptic clone. I'm talking to Black Pigeon Speaks, who is a Christian. There are Christians that believe that there are militant atheists out there that want to end religion.
Yes, and the Christians, like Black Pigeon, would be right in this instance. Now that I understand what you're saying, now that we've added some clarity to this conversation, and I see the definitions that you're using, yes, Christians are aware of that, and they should be very afraid of that. Makes complete sense. I happen to be one of those atheists who wants to see religion end, and so is Devin Tracy. Not a bad thing, by the way. And that is complete confirmation that you are virtue signaling to those Christians by saying, I am not this. There's these mean atheists over here. Don't worry, guys. Not my position. Even though it should be your position because it is the only position that makes sense. To be an atheist and look around at all these beliefs and be like, meh, that's cool, is an abortion of logic. As if there is a large number of atheists out there who just want to see the church destroyed and banned off the face of the earth. It's like, yeah, congrats, way to come out against something that no one's in favor of.
Again, I'm telling his audience, I'm not that type of atheist that I'm sure you've heard about in your Christian circles. I'm just explaining that I disagree with it, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with you being part of a church.
And that's the problem. That is the crux of our disagreement. I believe there is something wrong with being part of a church. Because you are part of an institution that's built on lies, you operate within society and normalize that lie. You make it more palatable so it seems more convincing to other people. You participate in the indoctrination of children, innocent children who had no wish to be in this situation.
I want everybody to keep in mind here that he made fun of the idea of any possible atheist who wants religion to end, because it really makes the rest of this video fucking confusing.
And again, that's just your misinterpretation. I even made sure to mention atheists who want to see the church banned off the face of the earth. I'm implying something akin to what the Soviet Union did, a hostile takeover of extremely militant atheism, which, judging by the way I talk about it in this video, I'm not in favor of. My position has always remained the same. I am an atheist and an anti-theist who would like to see religion end. But again, I'm sure you made yourself look like one of the good atheists. Don't worry, guys, I'm not with these mean atheists who want to destroy the church. I'm Greg, I'm so virtuous.
I'm not signaling virtue, I'm explaining my honest position on religion.
And yet again, we have another refutation of this sort. I'm not virtue signaling, I'm just explaining my position. Yes, your position, which is complete virtue signaling. I don't see how that takes away from you virtue signaling at all. You even implied it a few clips back. You said you were talking to Black Pigeon Speaks and other Christians, saying, don't worry, I'm not one of these bad militant atheists. The exact point I make, you mirror in the response to me only confirming what I said originally. But then after you say the exact same thing I said, you say I'm wrong. Because apparently that's supposed to make sense somehow.
This is something that has not changed. Even if it has, fucking sue me. I'm allowed to change my mind on things. I'm allowed to evolve as a person. Everybody who says nuanced things that I disagree with is fucking signaling virtue.
What even? No, Greg, you can change your mind. What? That's not even in dispute. He plays this victim card. Oh, look, I can change my mind. It's fine. And it's like, what does that have to do with what I just said? Your right to change your mind has never been in question. Personally, I would like to see you change your mind on anti-theism, especially considering what an influential figure you are within skeptic spheres.
I see a lot of benefits in church, especially when it comes down to the community level.
Yeah, you don't need a church to have a community.
Obviously. You fucking idiot. But some people need communities. And sometimes church is the only community that will accept them.
He really just doesn't get it. What I am saying here is to make an argument for a church community makes no sense considering there are several other kinds of communities. We can form a better community. A community based on reality would help. And especially a community with a history not as dark as any given church.
I grew up in a United Church, and it was really innocuous. It was very, very, very tame. You'd sit in your pew, and the minister would be like, oh, Jesus was a good guy. He was like, hey, be good to people, be good to your neighbor, whatever. Okay, everybody go have lunch. And then we'd all get together, and people would have brought sandwiches and stuff, and we'd just hang out and talk about life. Religion never came up in our church, ever.
And somehow that's okay? This is the excuse making. This is the normalizing of bad ideas. Let's let these bad ideas slide because there was a positive benefit once. There was one church, personal experience time, guys, one church that Greg went to where they were just eating sandwiches. Gee, this doesn't sound like Ben Affleck at all. And they didn't talk about religion in this church. What a strange fucking church. If anything, the church's takeover of that concept is a sickening slap in the face. It's a community built on lies.
Nobody owns the concept of community. Some churches are not very religious at all. The little lies that hold them together are just those little lies that make these people feel better about themselves.
And this is the complete erosion of skepticism on account of people's fee-fees. I mean, they're just a couple little lies. What could possibly go wrong? Come on, guys. I don't know. Maybe everything could go wrong.
I'm going to be very mean to Christians right now, so trigger warning here.
At first, I thought that logo was a joke. I was like, okay, come on, it's Armoured Skeptic.